Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Please help me welcome our next speaker, Clancy.
It's the Clancy. All right. Yeah. The other Clancy.
Clancy alcoholic.
Clancy.
Happy holidays. Almost over. Get to close them down here. So I wore my festive shoes. Are these shoes? I'm way too old. I'm almost 50, and this is the world's longest midlife crisis you're watching here. I will never grow up. I refuse. God. So this is like the Island of the Lost Boys here, Misfit Toys. We get all the, you know, what is that? Rudolph. I watch all the Christmas specials. Last night I rented Scrooge, the one with Albert Finney, the musical. I hate musicals, but I'd never seen that one. But I think I'm a Christmas Carol Scrooge aficionado. I like Alistair Sim and that old English one, and Bill Murray and Scrooged. And you older folks remember Mr. Magoo? Oh, that rocks. That's hot. Magoo is actually one of the better Christmas carols. But I love it. I got an AA, and the movie, Ray, there's a movie. It has more meaning. Because Scrooge is a miserable, pissed-off bastard, just like me. He acts like a little alcoholic man, except his Jones is money, not booze. You know, it's like, he's all fucked up, is Scrooge. I mean, he's a hateful bastard. He tortures Cratchit, and he hates everyone. There's a song in the movie where I hate people. I hate people. I'm like, yeah, I understand that. You know, so... But then he works a fourth and fifth step on Christmas Eve night. He does. It's just like a fourth and fifth. The ghosts of all his past. He clears away the wreckage of his past. This visited upon him. It says, look, this woman, Scrooge, you left her. And now you're a miserable bastard. The ghosts come, and our ghosts visit us and haunt us. And they haunted him, and it shows him what it will be like. Mr. Death comes and shows him what it will be like. And Scrooge has that moment of clarity, that epiphany. And I think if you work the steps and you work a good fourth and fifth, you may have had something like that. Was like, I don't have to live like that. I don't have to be a miserable bastard. I can be happy and at any age. And he just casts it off, and he throws his big bag of money out the window to the kid, and, you know, he has that moment that takes your breath away, that like, I don't have to drink anymore. I don't have to be a miserable bastard. Because I tell you, my default settings are miserable bastard. Without this steps and living like this in this program, I am like that. But I have a delightful 17-and-a-half-year-old daughter, and we spent Christmas Day together today. And she has never had to see me drunk. I'll be 21 years next month, January 26th, about a month, I'm going to be 21. And she's just the light of my life, you know. We used to go crazy about Christmas. This year we kind of just paid, you know, my big decoration was a reindeer ball from Jack in the Box on my antenna. And they tortured me because I drove through there and I ordered the large meal, and I said, yes, and I would like a reindeer ball. And she's like, "¿Qué?" I like reindeer ball. Here I'm 50, almost right. I'm asking for a reindeer ball to decorate. That's my Christmas decoration. She's like, "¿Qué? Reindeer balls? You want a reindeer ball?" I thought I was gonna like get a super taco with reindeer balls in it. You know, they always get your order wrong. You know, I'm like, yes, reindeer balls. I want a reindeer ball. Okay. you mean, I get up there and there's like, I'm like, ¿Dónde es reindeer ball? It's not in the bag, man. She shorts me on it. So I go, look, the little balls. I go, oh, okay, a reindeer ball, So that was my big Christmas decor. No tree this year, but I got my reindeer, So we just go crazy at Christmas. And I have a lot of fun. We went to Disneyland. My daughter, I think she just went with me, but if you ever go to Disneyland at Christmas time, just look at people, and we were in one line that was over an hour for A Nightmare Before Christmas, a haunted mansion. They fix it up like that movie. And I said, Megan, I saw pictures of Nazi concentration camps where people looked like they had more hope. I go, these people look miserable. I go, I want to do a documentary like Michael Moore and walk up to him and go, are you happy? You just spent $500 to get in the door, and you just waited 2 hours in line, and it broke down, and you got these. Are you happy? Like an expose. But we love it. We have fun. Actually, she's the reason I'm wearing these shoes. We took swing dance lessons together. And Wednesday night, we went out swing dancing, and she's 17 and a half, and she still goes dancing with me. That says it all right there. And it all started in an AA meeting like this, because a few years ago, I went to an AA meeting on a Saturday night. It was near Christmas, and a friend of mine was dying of cancer, and he was a speaker. And after the meeting, he grabbed me and hugged me, and he said, you got to make every day special, Clancy. Every day is a state of grace, because he had a son my daughter's age, and he was dying, sober in AA, of lung cancer. And he grabbed me, and we both started crying. And I went home, and I unplugged my television set, and I threw it in the trash and threw my VCR in the trash, and I told Megan, I said, we're not going to waste any time together. We're not going to waste any more time. And I opened the paper up. I said, what are we going to do? Swing dance lessons. And she looks at me like I'm nuts, She was 12 then. It was about 5 years ago. And so we go to lessons, and they're torture too. It's like a Stephen King movie, man. It's just, you go into a room. I didn't know how to dance. I like to dance, but not that kind of dancing. And they line you up. It's like a room like this, like an Elks Lodge, and the men line up on one. If you haven't tortured yourself with dance lessons, you should do this before you die. You should learn to dance. This is a good way, of having a good time. And the women and the men, and then the teachers go, okay, pick a partner. It's like a stampede, people run and grab. It's like high school. It's like your worst nightmare. It's like remember your first AA dance? And you go to, oh man, you're wide awake sober, and you go to an AA dance. Like before I got here, I never asked a girl to dance sober in my life. I got drunk so I could ask them to dance. I was scared to death. And then you go to an AA dance, and they got the cheesy disco ball. They got some DJ up there with his home speakers and, thumping to Snoop Doggy Dogg or some shit, and you're like, I got to walk across the room sober and ask a girl to dance. And you got the flop sweat going, and she has it too. And, but you do it. You do it. And so we learned to dance. And my daughter, she all of a sudden was in the advanced group, and she was on the dance team called the Swing Cats. They took her under her wing, little Megan. She bought the little dance outfit. Dad was kind of stuck in beginners, I couldn't get that rock, step, triple, I'll get it someday. And the teacher would look at me and goes, what's your name, Clancy? He goes, you really don't get it, do you? I go, he'd always point me out, and Megan would look at me and just shake her head, go, God, this is so lame. But I stuck with it, because I went to dancing because it's very social. Couples meet there. It's like men and women. It's a social thing. It's natural. They meet, and, you'll see them at lesson 1, at lesson 2. They go out for coffee. You don't see them at lesson 3, or they never really learned to dance because they came to hook up. But you know what? I came to dance. Because I wanted to dance with my kid. I didn't come to meet a girlfriend there, which wouldn't have been a problem, but I came focused. And so I stuck to it, and I started taking private lessons. And I remembered my sponsor, my first year, he said, I want you to go to a meeting every single day. And I thought, why didn't I ask somebody else to sponsor me, you know? It's like, look at this rooms, man. You got a picture of Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon in every room? Is that who that is over there? Oh. Is that like sacrilegious to make fun of shit like that? Sorry, Bill. But, you know, and you go and they read the same chapter every meeting. It is like a Twilight Zone episode. You're stuck. It's like, chapter 5. I'm kind of an ADD type. I was brought up on television and commercials, and I'm like, oh, the same chapter again? And they go, the next meeting, 10 meetings down the line, chapter 5. Like, yeah, I heard that one. They read it every meeting, man. And 21 years later, chapter 5. How it just stabbed me, man. You gonna read that shit again? And then people get up here and they say the same shit every meeting. Don't drink, work the steps. Oh, God, why don't you try to say something witty for once in your damn life? But they don't. It is like torture, but I love it. I love it here. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I make fun of it. I have to be irreverent and be able to kid around about it. And I know, whatever. So, goddamn guys making fun of chapter 5. I'm leaving. So anyway, where was I? We were at the dance lessons, and so I was. I would hate to go in. We'd drive up and I would go, Megan, I cannot go in. The teacher's gonna yell at me again. She'd go, you gotta go. You gotta go in there. You know what? I bit the bullet, and it wasn't easy, but I went. And a year down the line, there was a Manhattan Beach talent show for South Bay Central Office. We're from South Bay, right down the road here, Hermosa Beach. And there was a talent show and I said, Megan, you want to dance in the show? And I had gotten good enough where she goes, yeah, we can dance. And we worked out a little routine. We had so much fun, you know, and she would go dancing with me everywhere. To Disneyland, they have swing dance. And I mean, she would go. So because I stuck with it, she went with me this week. She's 17 and a half, and she goes dancing with her father. You know how lame that shit is for a teenager? I mean, you roll it. Oh, you want to go dancing? Okay. She really loves me. Because, you know, when you're 12, it's like, oh, Dad, they love. When it's 17, it's like, he's like, she's going to go. And she goes. She loves me because of you. She loves me because of you. Because when I was a newcomer, I got involved with another newcomer, and we created a little Megan, you know. And I screwed up beyond all. I was probably the most popular man in Alcoholics Anonymous because I was the sober DJ. In the 80s, we had dances all the time and sober relationships, and we made in here. And this is a recessive gene pool. This is like, you meet somebody and it's like, you could go, yeah, I used to slam heroin and sleep in dumpsters and vomit and drink until I vomited and go to jail. Oh, you too? Oh, let's go out. Isn't it like meeting, you know, so you're two really fucked up people. Isn't it like meeting somebody in the insane asylum and making them your girlfriend and your boyfriend going? And I tell guys that date newcomers, I go, well, why don't you just stand outside a Norwalk County Mental Hospital, and when they walk out of treatment, throw a blanket over them and go, here, my girlfriend. You know? I go, if you let them go to meetings, the other guys will ask them out. You got to get them right out of the door. And they look at me like I'm crazy. But they will. First meeting, the newcomer girl is gone to coffee. Bang, bang. So you got it right out of the insane asylum. Just so we have the relationships and we create, you know, kids. And so I had it going on. I was the DJ. I was going to a meeting every day for 2 years, and I was Mr. AA guy. And I was DJing dances for Brotman Hospital, for CODA. I was just talking about CODA. They carry little teddy bears while they dance, and they dance by themselves. I used to play Addicted to Love for CODA. I go, okay, CODA, here's our theme song. I hate myself for loving you. I know. And I kind of ran the table in AA, so I started dating girls in Coda, and but they'll stalk you because they're codependent. So stay out of that gene pool. Stay here. Or Cocaine Anonymous is good too. So I was having way too much fun. I mean, guys would go, because I'd get on top of the speakers and dance, and I was really having a good time. I had my light show, and I was just dancing with all the girls, and guys would look at me like, man, you are disgusted, like you should not have that much fun sober. I mean, I was going wild. And then I met this girl. Dun, dun. It's like the Jaws theme should kick in here. Dun, dun, dun. Little newcomer, she was so cute. And so then I asked her out for coffee, and then, you know, we went to coffee at Denny's, and after coffee, she said, you know, I think I'm pregnant. But it just seemed that fast. And there's something in the coffee at Denny's that gets newcomers pregnant, so don't go there. Because I wouldn't have done that shit. So I know, I'm innocent. So, but then I go from like the total happening guy to Clancy and his pregnant newcomer girlfriend. And guys looked at me like, guys spoke it up here, Jay Stennon and Bill Cleveland, you know, the guys from the South Bay Men's Day. They looked at me like, man, they never saw a guy who fucked up so bad. You know, they like, look at Clancy. And I knew I screwed up that bad. I mean, I wanted to fake my death. I thought if I just crash my car and pull a couple of my teeth out and put them in there and throw my wallet and set it on fire, I can start all over. You know, I thought, you know, I really don't want to do this. I don't want this whiny pregnant girl. I don't want to do this. And when you screw up sober, it's different when you screw up drunk. You screw up drunk, you just get drunk, you just get loaded. You just get high. You're like, oh, I screwed up. But when you're sober, man, you really screwed up because you're feeling all that pain. You're like, oh, ooh, I better work some steps. When you're in an AA relationship, the worst cut they're ever gonna say to you, like you're in a fight and you're like, fuck you, you bitch, and fuck you, you bitch. She's going, why don't you work the steps? That's like the low blow. With your AA girlfriend yells at you, why don't you fucking work a step? I know, have you ever had that happen? And like, you just wanna kill her, man. So I've had that happen a lot. Don't you work the steps? So, it really makes you work the steps, the hell out of the steps. And I was miserable, but the people in the men's stag and the men and women in AA just lifted me up. They said, you know what you got to do, Clancy? You got to be a stand-up guy. You got to pay her all the money she asked for, and you got to spend all the time with that little girl that you can. And I did. And that's why she went out dancing with me this week. And she loves me. And that's why she spent the day in Disneyland with me. And that's why because of AA. I'm not a good guy. Default settings, miserable bastard. But AA makes me a good person. It's like, I need you. I have almost 21 years sober, and I don't come here because I'm obviously not some saint. You know, I come here because I'm human, and I need you so bad. You make me a better person by being here. You know, I learn how to live here. I try to live spiritually. I try to live one day at a time. You know, I try to just play the cards that God deals me. You know, I always thought about luck and being lucky and not lucky and loser and winning. And now I just think, you know, I just take life like a layering of experiences, and I don't label them winning or losing. it's what happens to me in the day. You know, I just know that all I need is God and the steps and you know, and I really feel that's all I need. When my program's working, it's like the material world's an illusion to me. And you know what? I know in Vegas where they have all those big hotels, I know how they built those big hotels. I'm going to tell you the secret. The Bellagio, where do they get all that money to build that shit? They get it from a guy like this. He's going to go he's playing blackjack, right? And he plays hand number 1, and he loses. Hand number 2, and he loses. 3, 4, 5. He's losing. He gets the 9 hands, he's losing. He busts. 10th hand. The guy in his head goes, I've lost 9 in a row. I'm due to win. He's That's God calling me saying I'm due to win. Is that for me? So the guy's all in because he's due. He's due to win. And the dealer deals in the 10th hand, and guess what happens? He busts. The cards don't know you're due. The cards do not know you're due. And that's kind of like life. I look like God's like this big blackjack dealer in the sky, and he's tossing out cards. He's like this. And it's how I play my cards. It's how I play my hand, is what attitude that I have, that because I don't know what I'm going to get. Sometimes I get really bitchin' cards, and sometimes I get really shitty cards, but I'm sober. And the only way I'm not playing is if I get drunk or loaded, I fold. You fold. You're not in the game anymore if you fold your hand. If I get to high or loaded, then I'm not. But if I'm sober, every day is grace, and I'm in the game. I'm in the game, and it's all money. Every day is a state of grace. I should be dead. I was in a head-on collision on St. Patrick's Day. His name's Clancy Patrick Ohara. My father's Seamus Patrick Ohara. We're Jewish. Just So on a St. Patrick's Day in Solana Beach, I leave a bar at 2 a.m. in the morning, but I'm in a blackout. I blacked out during the day. My sister, Casey O'Hara, was shoving magic mushrooms in my mouth, and I was doing Budweiser's, Chivas Regal, and then shots of Heineken, and I mean bottles of Heineken on top of shots, and I blacked out, and I was hallucinating. The bartender was moving backwards, and drinks were going back up, and the drinks were going back in them, and you know, have you ever done that shit? And it was so funny because I had driven a white Volkswagen Rabbit down there, and my sister shoving mushrooms in my mouth, and it was like going in a black hole like Alice in Wonderland. I mean, I did. I went into a blackout and came out of the blackout in a head-on collision. And that was my path to start to come here to Wonderland with you. And I went to jail, and I had just pleaded guilty to a drunk driving a few months before. And so they didn't let me go. They gave me the little orange North County Vista Jail prison suit. I just thought, I'm just a good kid. I couldn't imagine how I screwed up my life like that. But I know I should have been dead because the car would look like an accordion. So I know that every day for us is grace. I mean, this is just bonus life. So I don't give a shit about Christmas or any other day. Every day is like a shiny little diamond. It's like bonus time. Every day above ground, because we all should be dead or in the insane asylum or screwed up. But God threw this card like AA at you, like this, man, and it's the money card. It's like you hit it. You hit the spiritual lottery. It's like blackjack. This is all the money I'll ever need is AA, because it's a spiritual life I live now. I don't live the material life. I mean, all I know is I need about six feet of space to sleep, a couple pounds of food, and a good, solid spiritual program to live. You know, I mean, they try to sell you everything out there. They not only sell you cell phones, they say you have ones that take photographs. I mean, the junk that they try to stuff down your throat, you don't need it. All you need is God and your health and a spiritual program, and I know that in my heart, that this is all I need to make me happy. I've been doing this for 21 years, and man, I ride it hard. Because my alcoholism is like a 1,000-pound gorilla. It's not done fucking me till it's ready. My alcoholism is like the hillbillies in Deliverance. They're out there waiting with there's another movie. They're out there waiting. My alcoholism is like a demon waiting to get my ass. But I fight it with my enthusiasm. I mean, I love it. I love being sober. You know, I've danced the whole way for 20 years. Ask anybody, they'll say, Clancy will never grow up. Fuck them, I am never gonna grow up. I am having the time of my life sober. All of my dreams have come true. And that's how I keep those demons at bay, with my enthusiasm. So if you get on fire with this, if you start going, you know, I'm gonna learn to dance. I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna, you know, ride my bike up the coast of Australia. I'm gonna write 2 novels. I have done all that shit in AA. All my dreams have come true. I have a beautiful, darling daughter that loves me. You know, I get to help people. I sponsor a guy now. I drive down to it's an Indian recovery house. What's that called? Sacred Beginnings or something, and I sponsor an Indian guy, and he's teaching me about Indian stuff, and I'm teaching him about sober stuff, and I thought, now my Lost Boys are complete. I have an Indian, and that makes me Peter Pan, and I'm never gonna grow up, because I'm out there fighting a disease, and I fight it with my enthusiasm. I mean, I keep it at base. So if you get on fire, don't ever let anyone say, oh, you're on fire. Like if you give some fiery ass pitch, God bless you. Because like I said, us old timers need to hear that passion. I mean, the passion for sobriety is what drives me. It's a passionate thing. The steps in the big book, it says we're going to be rocketed into another dimension, that we're going to have all these opportunities, and then when you get on fire, somebody will try to dampen it. Fuck them, man, because this is the hottest thing, and you got to buy the whole package. You can't be one of those AAs that goes, well, I just show up, and I go after it aggressively and help guys and work the steps, and I have the promises, and I buy the whole package. I just don't pay lip service to it. I really do it, because it saved my life. I lost my father, Seamus. Patrick O'Hara died. I lost my brother. My brother had to be the toughest Irishman on the planet. He is Tony O'Hara. We called him Ramrod. He was like the big thug Irish gangster guy with the red hair, comb back, and he wore these big black leather jackets, and he had a glove with lead filing sewed in the leather. And his hobby was fighting. I was this kind of little nerdy. I would read comic books like Green Lantern and Silver Surfer in high school, with big, thick glasses. Girls never talked to me ever, It's like a girl, one of those, I don't, not from me. Give me this comic book. And I was a nerdy, skinny kid, and my brother was the toughest motherfucker on the planet, to me, He wasn't afraid of anybody. He had these green eyes. He would look at you. There was no fear in Tony. He would look any man, and the guy would just, I'd watch him go into a bar, and then I'd see the bar door fly open, and a biker would fly out, Here's a sailor. He'd be in there fighting, He was my hero. He was the toughest man I ever met in my life. At 26 years old, alcohol killed him. He died of an alcohol and drug overdose. At 26 years old, he left his little son, Sean Patrick O'Hara, behind. I was raised by another tough guy. My mother married this other guy named Mac McGivney, and he had the words fuck and hate tattooed on his fingers. Mom, your picker's broken, Mom. Mommy needed like a relationship seminar. She needed Dr. Phil to talk to her, because she brings home this serial killer with fucking hate. Your new daddy, Clancy. Like, oh. I know. It was exactly like that. This guy was another tough Irish thug who had done time in San Quentin for murder, but got out because it was self-defense, found my mother and married her, and I was the baby of the family. The other kids said, we're out of here. It was like, and I was left with them. I was like 14 or something, and this Irish guy would try to toughen me up, and he would tell me stories about San Quentin and male rape. I'm like, man, I just want to read this comic book, man. He go, if you don't toughen up, Clancy, you're going to go to jail, and somebody's going to make you their little girlfriend. These are like bedtime stories for Irish kids, No, please, I'm scared, Daddy. Honest to God, I'm not exaggerating at all. So he and my mom would fight, and he chased my mother in the room with a butcher knife one time. And I had my Silver Surfer comic, and I'd always have a Pepsi and some Twinkies was my main diet. And like I felt like I was raised by wolves. And Maggie chased him in. She had the butcher knife, and he backed up against the side of my bed, and she stabbed him. And she stabbed him right in the stomach. He grabbed him, blood spurts out. I'm just reading my comic. I'm just like, I'm an alcoholic family. You're used to that shit. There's blood on the walls. They're like, whatever. These tough guys raised me, these Irish thugs. They're dead now. So I always like once in a while look up and go, who's tough now? Who's tough now? For 20 almost 21 years I've been here with you, and I just go to work for the phone company every day, and I got that beautiful blonde-haired daughter who looks at me like I'm a big hero. I mean, that's what's tough, is coming here and staying sober and living day by motherfucking day, whether it's a good day or a bad day, you know? I mean, I've had some wonderful times sober. I rode my bicycle down the coast of the United States. I flew, me and my bike, this is bicycle, not a motorcycle. This is a bike. I tell bikers, you know, they're like, oh, they're so tough with that. I go, don't you just go like that and it goes? I rode my bicycle. I know. Fuck bikers, yeah, tough guys. Come on. I used to think I was a tough guy, but I would just get my ass kicked and my glasses twisted off and you know. So I fly up to Vancouver, Canada in September, and I turn around and it's raining up there. And people go, the Canadian people said, you know, Hoser, it's raining, you gotta, you know. And I said, I'm riding my bike to California. And so I covered up with hefty bags. I look like a big bicycle garbage bag. I look like a big garbage bag. And you're riding down it's different. I practice down here. It's easy riding a bike down here. There's no hills. Up there, it's all mountains and logging trucks. And logging trucks hated my ass. They would run me right off the road into the mud. And because they have to shift through like 14 gears and you can hear them swearing at you the whole way. And so I'm just, you know that little line of mud you get? I wore these Easy Rider biking shorts and it got like a mud line right up the middle. And rednecks up there are throwing rocks at me and dogs are chasing me. And I'm just thinking, you know, I have like a couple years sober and I'm thinking, maybe this wasn't a good idea. I'm miserable. I'm like, fuck, and it's pouring rain and it rains all day and you're just riding. And you go uphill for hours, literally hours. You're just climbing. You're just climbing in low gear, the lowest gear. And then you get to the top of the hill, it's like, 5 minutes. And then you climb again. And I pulled into a gas station. I swear it was a spiritual experience. I saw these guys that looked like the Hanson brothers in Slapshot. Did you ever see Slapshot? They had the big, thick glasses, and they got these rusted-out Schwinn varsity bikes. Remember Schwinn's? The varsity was the cheapest Schwinn bike. They weigh like 300 pounds. I'm on like the yuppie Nishiki Bushiki yuppie 15-speed bike, and I'm miserable. And they got these big smiles, and they're just glowing. And I go, man, what's the secret? And they go, you got to enjoy the hills. You got to enjoy the hard parts, because, man, it's all hard parts. And if you don't like climbing, you might as well give up right now. And I had an epiphany, a spiritual moment. I went, man, it is. It's like all hard parts, and I better get into it. And I got into it, and I stood up in the pedals. I started climbing, man. I had the best trip of my life. And I learned a lesson that, man, if I'm just waiting for that little 5 minutes of whee, man, my life's going to be shitty. It's because it's hard work, and I got to enjoy the hard work. I've got to find a way to enjoy the losing and the winning, because it's not winning and losing. It's just the shit that happens to me. It's just the cards I get dealt, and it's how I play them. It's just like when you met that girl at the AA dance, and she was just shining under the disco light. And you know, she was sweating and the glitter ball disco was hitting her. And that's like going downhill on a bicycle, man. You just meet her and it's like, falling in love. It takes your breath away. 2 months later, she goes, do you think we should go to a relationship seminar or maybe a couples meeting? Or maybe we should go on a sober club med? And then your life's like hell again. And then it's just like climbing hills, you know. You're in the relationship and you're like, okay, we'll go to Al-Anon. and then you learn, though, it's all hard parts, man. And it's just like, I can't live for those like little moments where it's just going downhill on a bicycle. And I can tell you that all my dreams have come true. That I was inspired. There's that movie out now called $1 Million Baby. That guy lived in Hermosa Beach that wrote that movie years ago. FX Tool, that's not even his real name. He's a local guy. He wrote a book called Rope Burns about boxing. And he was like my age. He was like 50, and he wanted to be a boxer. So he's way too old to be a boxer, but he said, screw it, I'm going to go anyway. So he went to the gyms where like LA Boxing Club and all the hardcore clubs where the boxers are, and they're like, you're a little old, but why don't you become the cut man? Why don't you become a corner man? So he became a corner man because he followed his dream. It's like if you have some weird, insane dream, like you want to be a dancer or a boxer or a writer, just go. Don't let anybody throw any water on your fire, man, because you're on fire now. And he didn't let anybody, so he wrote and then he wrote a book, a collection of stories called Rope Burns. Now it's this hit movie with Clancy. The guy's dead now, but I hope you know that they made this huge movie because he just thought, I'm 50, I want to be a boxer. Maybe you want to be a dancer. Maybe you want to be a writer. We're on fire now. What am I going to do with this grace that God gave me? What am I going to do with these special days? Am I going to stare at TV? Am I going to rent another movie? Am I going to not go to a meeting? Am I not going to help anyone? These are days of grace. These are all special days. Every day is Christmas when we really believe it, and you have these gifts. Thanks for having me.
I think we got a great talk going on here. Thanks for watching the channel. Taper Dave here. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right. But I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.